Hello and welcome back to the channel. Or if this is your first time here, a very special welcome. And this is not just a house. This is a philosophy, a way of life. It's a testament to the idea that true wealth isn't measured in square footage, but in the richness of the moments you create within those spaces. I want you to forget everything you think you know about living small. Forget the cramped, cluttered spaces, the compromise, the feeling of being boxed in. I want you to open your mind to a different kind of living, a deliberate, intentional kind of living. One rooted in the principles of Haig, of Lagom, of a profound connection to the natural world. This is my modern Scandinavian tiny house, and yes, it's tiny. Only about 25 square meters. But every single square centimeter has been meticulously considered. We're not just building a structure, we're curating a life. We're stripping away the superfluous and embracing the essential. For so long, we've been told that bigger is better. Bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger everything. We've chased this relentless pursuit of more, only to find ourselves drowning in stuff we don't need. Paying for space we barely use and feeling more disconnected than ever. I felt it too. A creeping sense of emptiness. A constant need to fill a void that could never be filled with consumer goods. And then I found this, the tiny house movement. But for me, it wasn't just about the size. It was about the principles that underpin it, the minimalism, the sustainability, the freedom. It was about asking a simple yet profound question: what do I truly need to be happy? Everything in here has a purpose. There are no junk drawers. No forgotten corners filled with things I meant to get to someday. Every object is either beautiful or functional, and most of them are both. This stool, it's a seat, a side table, a step. This blanket, it's warmth, comfort, and a pop of texture. It's about multifunctionality, but it's also about respect. Respect for the things you own, respect for the space you inhabit. The kitchen, a heart of the home, no matter the size. We have what we need. A 2-burner stove, a small sink, a mini fridge. It forces a certain kind of creativity. You can't stockpile groceries. You buy what you need for the next few days. It's a daily ritual of mindfulness. It connects you to your food in a way a giant pantry never could. And the light. Oh, the light. It's one of the cornerstones of Scandinavian design. The long dark winters demand that you maximize every single ray of sunlight. So we have large windows, light colors, and a design that encourage light to bounce and play. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about well-being. It's about fighting against the darkness with every tool you have. And this is my sanctuary, the loft. It's elevated, separate. A space just for rest and rejuvenation. There's no television up here, no distractions. Just a book, a soft light, and the quiet sounds of the forest outside. It's a physical and mental separation from the day's activities. A promise to yourself to truly unwind. Some people might look at this and see sacrifice. They see a lack of something, but I see an abundance. An abundance of time, because I'm no longer working to pay for a house I don't love. An abundance of freedom, because I can move this house if I choose. An abundance of peace, because there is simply less to worry about. This is not a house, this is a feeling. A feeling of quiet strength, a feeling of purpose, a feeling of being exactly where you are meant to be. And I hope, in sharing this with you, you can find a piece of that feeling for yourself. Whether it's in a tiny house, a small apartment, or just in the simple act of clearing a shelf and making space for what truly matters. You see, living small isn't about squeezing yourself into a box. It's about breaking free from one. It's not about restriction, it's about liberation. Liberation from excess, liberation from distraction, and yes, liberation from the noise of a world that constantly tells us we need more stuff, more space, more of everything, just to feel whole. But what if we flip that script? What if less really could be more? Imagine a space where every single item has a purpose and a story, where your home is designed not to overwhelm you, but to calm you. Where light pours in through wide windows, connecting you to the rhythm of the natural world outside. Where mornings are slow, intentional, and bathed in soft sunlight. Where evenings feel warm, grounded, and full of quiet peace. This is not just a house, It's a philosophy rooted in Haig, that deep Danish sense of coziness and contentment. In Lagom, the Swedish idea that just enough is exactly what we need. And in wabi-sabi, that beautiful Japanese acceptance of imperfection and simplicity. In a world that moves too fast, this way of living asks you to slow down, to savor your coffee instead of rushing out the door, to open a window and let in fresh air instead of living behind drawn curtains, to create a space that feels like an extension of the natural world, not an escape from it. Living small intentionally is about designing your environment to support who you truly are and who you want to become. It's about trading square footage for quality of life. It's about curating rather than collecting, choosing what matters most and letting go of what doesn't. This is what living small can be. Not a compromise, but a celebration. Not a restriction, but a refinement. So today I invite you to look closer, to step inside this space with fresh eyes, to notice the textures, the light, the flow of air from room to room, to feel the intention behind every choice, from the placement of the windows to the way the furniture encouraged conversation and connection. For so long, we've been told that bigger is better. Bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger closets, bigger screens, bigger everything. We've been taught that success means square footage, that happiness can be measured in price tags, and that if we just get the next big thing, then we'll finally feel content. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. We chased bigger homes and ended up with bigger mortgage. We filled our garages and then rented storage units because we still didn't have enough space. We bought and bought and bought, and yet, somehow, we felt more empty than ever. I felt it too. That creeping sense of emptiness, like I was constantly trying to catch up with a life that was sprinting ahead of me. That quiet, annoying voice that said, if you just buy this one more thing, then you'll feel whole. But the feeling never came. Instead, I found myself surrounded by things that didn't matter, paying for space I barely used, and wondering why, with all this more, I still felt like I had less. That was my wake-up call. I realized that the life I was living wasn't really mine, it was the life I had been sold. A life designed to keep me consuming, working, hustling, just to maintain a version of success that left me too exhausted to enjoy it. So I stopped. I stopped chasing bigger. I started asking myself what I really needed, not what the world told me I needed, not what my neighbors had, or what I saw on Instagram, but what actually made me feel alive, connected, at peace. And what I discovered changed everything. I learned that I didn't need a huge house to feel at home. I didn't need a garage full of things to feel secure. I didn't need to fill every empty space with furniture or every quiet moment with noise. I needed room to breathe. I needed light pouring through windows in the morning. I needed a kitchen where I could actually cook, not just store gadgets. I needed spaces that felt warm and alive, not cold and over-designed. I needed connection to the people I love, to the natural world outside, and to myself. And the answer wasn't in going bigger, it was in going smaller. More deliberate, more intentional. That's when I discovered the world of minimalism, small living, and homes designed not for status, but for living. Homes where every corner has a purpose, where every item is chosen with care, where nothing feels wasted or excessive. And here's the beautiful part. When I let go of the pressure to have more, I found I actually had more of what I wanted all along. More time, because I wasn't cleaning or organizing things I didn't care about. More freedom, because I wasn't chained to debt. More clarity, because I wasn't drowning in visual noise. More presence, because I was finally living here, in this moment, not waiting for some future version of my life to make me happy. This, right here, is why I share these stories with you. Because I know I'm not the only one who has felt that emptiness. I know I'm not the only one who has looked around at a house full of things and thought, why am I still not happy? So I invite you to explore this way of living with me. Step inside these homes. Notice how they make you feel calm, grounded, inspired. Notice how simplicity creates space for beauty. Notice how living with intention opens the door to living with joy. Because this is not just about houses. It's about reclaiming your life. It's about redefining what enough means. And it's about realizing that sometimes the life you've always wanted just takes a little less,